When I'm browsing through YouTube, there are just some videos that the algorithm will not stop recommending me. Even when I click don't show me this video, I'm not interested, or don't show me this channel, YouTube will still find a way to sneak it in, you know, somewhere in the sidebar. After a video ends, it'll be there in that little collage of recommended videos. Something like that. This video we're about to watch has been one of those videos for me for like a week now. Or this channel in general. Granted, this video is only 5 days old, though everything, clips of this guy specifically that this channel has uploaded have gone immensely viral and are like really sticky in the algorithm. Like they will not let up on the recommendations. So clearly YouTube is pushing this stuff hard. Really hard. Not the anti-feminist incel we'll be covering later, though. Keep an eye out for that video if you're watching in the future. We're talking about a clip channel, technically. I don't believe that this is the original channel of what we're about to watch. The channel itself is called LFR Jojo, but the videos he's posting, I don't even know when they're from, though the context of certain titles does seem to imply they're recent. Seem to showcase this conservative professor in a lecture hall with a big group of students listening and I guess sometimes debating, giving a lecture and debating, I guess, the occasional liberal student. This guy's basically becoming, fast, by the way, he's becoming the new Jordan Peterson. This sort of, you know, heir of an education and authority, false speaker of truth type guy, you know, and he's got a big audience and he's going viral and YouTube's pushing him like crazy. So I thought we'd check out this video. It's called Professor Has Had Enough of Anti-Conservative Propaganda. Let's go ahead and check this video out, see what this guy's all about, what's attracting all these eyes, why is this guy going viral?
Oh, this guy, oh God, either they love him or they're gonna go try to protest. And I'm like, what are you gonna protest? What are you protesting? Ideas? Like, what are you actually protesting?
Well, that's kind of the whole point. That's kind of the whole point, you know? Like, this guy's clips have been going viral all over the place. And I keep getting them recommended to me. And it genuinely, I cannot emphasize to you how much YouTube has been pushing that guy on me. And I despise him. This channel, LFR Jojo, is a clip channel. It's been like responding to him and stuff. But I'm pretty sure he's like conservative himself. He's like one of the many channels that's been like showcasing this guy and pushing him and helping him go viral. Here, really quick, can I... Here we go.
Well, the same was...
He timestamps it. He talks in between when he shows the clips, but he timestamps each of the clips in the description so we can watch them without his commentary. He's just basically agreeing with everything that this guy says. So let's watch.
Somebody like him. Same with any...
Him, he's talking about Charlie Kirk, bro.
Okay, we know. All right.
He's very...
Unfortunately, finding this guy's clips is hard because, like, it's usually reposts and stuff.
I would listen to him often and be like, listen to him debating someone. I'd be like, okay, that's a good point. That's a cool point. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's, I don't like that. That's like, yeah. Oh, that's cool. No, that's not cool. I don't like that. And that's how life is. And that's how life should be. And if you're really engaged, that's how it should be. You can't, you know, if you listen to someone or find somebody out there in the world.
Every few years, it feels like some guy who leans hard on the idea of the appeal to authority fallacy, only he's the authority that he appeals to. Some guy will come along, whether it be Jordan Peterson, this guy, Ben Shapiro, or any of the other people that fit into this mold, and they will come along to frame the left using their freedom of speech and expression to express disagreement with the ideas of the right. They will frame this as if it is this horrible act in a way that's just so silly to me, you know? Like, he's describing it as though disagreeing with ideas, protesting ideas, is this horrible thing, this like anti-free speech. And meanwhile, what you're complaining about at the end of the day is just people expressing their own ideas. If you're a big public figure and you're expressing your ideas, you're opening yourself up to people countering your ideas. That's not the end of the world. People can protest you. That's the whole point of the First Amendment, is people can protest your speaking engagements. It's interesting how this criticism is only ever targeted at the left, by the way, and when the right does it, and they've always done it, it's never considered a problem. When the right protests someone on the left, it's always defended. It's always considered heroic. It's glorified.
Who you agree with on everything, then you probably can assume that you have some degree of schizophrenia or psychosis, because you're listening to yourself. Because there's nobody anywhere that you agree with 100% of the time.
What is going on at Penn State, man? Why is this the content that is being pushed? Like, not even the content, the classes, the lectures being pushed on students. This is so fucking cringe, bro. I know Penn State has a pretty bad reputation, to say the least, so I'm not surprised in the slightest, based on what I've heard about that university. But this guy, it's the same Jordan Peterson playbook. None of the talking points here are new. Nobody is unable to accept that someone else disagrees with them simply because they present an argument against that disagreement. Isn't the whole point of disagreeing to have, like, discussions and arguments to try and convince people? When the left does it, it's insane and unacceptable, and it's some kind of censorship somehow. But when the right does it, it's fine.
That's the nature of it, right? So, you know, people with me, sometimes they take a little tiny clip out of 8 seconds, and they're like, oh, this guy is a lunatic, right? And I'm like, well, you didn't get the 8 seconds before, and you didn't get the 8 seconds after. You got that.
Who's calling this guy a lunatic? Maybe he said stuff that I haven't seen yet, but I mean, this is very, like, this guy's filling a mold that has existed for over a decade. There's nothing new or crazy or shocking to me here.
At 8 seconds. Well, that happens a lot, and I'm watching that now on, you know, Reddit and on Twitter and on different things, you know. So I want to caution you all, caution everybody to be careful about doing this to anyone, okay? In any case,
never disagree, never protest someone's ideas, because that would be against the idea of freedom of expression somehow. If you disagree with someone who's got bigoted, hateful views, never protest what they have to say. You wouldn't want to be anti-First Amendment, right? You wouldn't want to express ideas that are against the First Amendment.
You know, he kind of essentially is assassinated.
Essentially assassinated?
For his ideas.
He was. Well,
for challenging people.
Like, let's not mince words here, okay? If we're going off of the very messages on Discord of the shooter, Tyler Robinson, he shot him because of his hate. The quote was, "Some hate cannot be negotiated." Not saying Tyler Robinson should have done that, but, like, the way that Tyler Robinson saw it, at least, and this wasn't some public expression, this was private logs with his girlfriend, he believed that Charlie Kirk spread hate. It wasn't ideas or whatever, it was hate. He believed that Charlie Kirk was a hateful, dangerous person. And I don't believe that he should have shot and killed Charlie Kirk, but Donald Trump might have prevented this. After he got shot at, instead of using that as an opportunity to ramp up the rhetoric against the left and hype up his base and get people afraid and angry and radicalized and getting people to understand the current state of politics is assassinations and death threats on your opponents, there's a good chance the assassination wouldn't have happened. It was in Trump's hands to reshape the landscape of political discussion and how heated things were after he himself had an attempt on his life. The first of multiple attempts on his life, by the way.
And, like, whoa. Man.
He's got literally nothing of value to say. He's just thinking of the last Jordan Peterson video he saw so he can reword and repeat the same talking points he said back in 2015 and 2016 when he was going viral.
I've received death threats, okay? So, like, this is, like, this is serious. Like, we're in this space. Here we are.
Probably.
Okay?
So do I.
You know, Gary the Willard Preacher over the years, I'm a friend of Gary's. Gary and I have done a couple debates together as fundraising endeavors, fundraising debates, because, you know, students in this class used to raise money for projects that we were doing in Haiti for many years. And so a couple different groups of students and a couple different semesters, they said, hey, can you do a debate with Gary, and then we'll charge admission to the debate, and then that's the money that we'll donate to this project in Haiti.
That's
so
nice.
I've always told students, hey, listen, man, you want to hone your thinking skills? Go try to debate Gary.
And this is insane, bro. He's talking.
Okay, we don't need the commentary. I just want the clips. The clips that I have been forced down my throat.
Anyone, okay? In any case, you know, he kind of essentially is...
Oh, wait, hold on. Wrong clip. 1 second.
Actually, in the So
credit where it's due. Charlie Kirk debated everyone.
I always say that about him. And when Charlie came to Penn State, I said the same thing. People would say, oh, this guy, oh, God, either they love him or they're going to go try to protest. And I'm like, what are you going to protest? What are you protesting? Ideas? Like, what are you actually protesting?
Nah, this is crazy.
Yes. Yeah, it's the idea. It is crazy. Indeed. I agree. It is crazy. Like, okay. The vid is not matching. The voice is killing me. His voice really is weird. Dude's filleting an astroturfer's corpse. He feels astroturfed himself, doesn't he? Like, doesn't this guy feel like he was, like, inserted, like an industry plant? Like, the right knows what kind of people, what kind of branding they're missing right now ever since Jordan Peterson became, like, a dying drug addict as he's been. And so now they're looking for their next Jordan Peterson. He feels like a plant, like an astroturfed, like, insert, like an industry plant. This guy seems like every youth pastor I had as a kid. Somehow I'm more impressed by Peterson than this guy. That's the thing, though. Back then, there wasn't an established massive right-wing audience online as much as there is today. So nowadays, a lot of right-wing grifters are barely trying, when back in 2016, back in the Gamergate era, right-wing chud content was, for all of its faults, quite entertaining. It was actually, often enough, quite entertaining. Like, well-made, well-edited, well-put together, well-constructed, and as time went by, the standards dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped, and, you know, nowadays we're at the point where all you have to do is, like, breathe about how bad libs are into a mic and you'll be a millionaire, right? But, there was a time when their content was actually well thought out and well put together, and Jordan Peterson, the reason he went viral was because his ideas and his arguments, as simple and you know, moronic as they may seem to the internet at the time, he seemed like Jesus Christ being punished because he was telling the truth no one wanted to hear. That was the way people talked about him. That was the way people saw him. And it feels like this is just the right trying to fill that missing gap once again. I don't know. I wanted to talk about that because I've had so many of that guy's clips in my recommended, and I figured I'd bring this video up because it's a good, like, compilation of the stuff he'd been saying about Charlie Kirk, and that's kind of been the main focus of a lot of the right's rhetoric lately, is this weaponization of Charlie Kirk's death into something they want to use to justify silencing and censoring the left. Or sorry, not the left. The right wants to silence the left using this death of Charlie Kirk to legislate against the left. We're even seeing the possibility that Trump is going to be assembling basically a list of Americans that may be threats to his administration politically. He wants to start putting people on lists, like a big database. This is like today's news, by the way. It's pretty scary. In fact, let's talk about it for a moment. This stuff seems quite scary, I'm not gonna lie. It's literally from today. Where is it? Let me see if I can dig up this story really fast. This is scary. Senators warn Trump administration is developing a secret watch list of Americans. One called National Security Presidential Memorandum 7, a greater infringement on freedoms than the Patriot Act. The Trump administration is drawing up secret lists of terrorist groups inside the United States, quote-unquote, Senator Elisa Slotkin said on the floor of Congress yesterday, the first such reference to the effects of National Security Presidential Memorandum 7, or NSPM-7. The directive, as I've reported, lays out Donald Trump's policies with regard to equating, quote, anti-Christian and anti-capitalist sentiments with domestic terrorism. As a result of the incentive, the FBI's domestic terrorism watch list is expected to double in the coming months, sources told me. The senator from Michigan would know. She is a former CIA analyst and the Assistant Secretary of Defense, and now serves on the Senate Armed Services and Homeland Security Committees. She defends the national security state as good, corn-fed people who just want to help their country, and has said, "I'm as hawkish as anyone" on Iran. In other words, Slotkin is no hater when it comes to the national security system, which makes her warning especially chilling. Slotkin, in her Senate speech, warned that with NSPM 7, the Trump administration had directed law enforcement agencies to make secret lists of terrorist groups inside the United States and send the full force of the U.S. government against those terrorist organizations. They are not telling anyone about this, but are asking that the law enforcement community come up with that list, she added. Consistent with her remarks, NSPM 7 says that the Attorney General shall submit a list of any such domestic terrorist groups to the White House. Quote, the Trump administration defines domestic terrorism incredibly broadly, Slotkin said. It suggests that any group that talks about anti-Christian values, views they don't like on migration or race, differing views on the role of the family, religion, or morality, could all be grounds for labeling an organization as domestic terrorists. So guys, I am officially risking my life to make content for you. Smash that motherfucking like button for me. Make it worth it, okay? Listen, when I get suicided by 2 gunshots to the head, and that's probably gonna happen at this rate, you guys better have made it all worth it, okay? Like, hit that like button. She also decried the Trump administration's secret list of designated foreign terrorist groups and its war on cartels, saying if this administration is not telling us who's on their secret designated terrorist list for groups in the Caribbean, they're definitely not going to tell us who is on their list of domestic terrorist organizations. Slotkin also revealed that the Trump administration had refused to provide its list of cartel terrorist groups to Congress, including even the Republican leadership. According to her, the list numbers in the dozens. This suggests that the administration is quite comfortable with such lists and is employing them against more than just high-profile groups like Tren de Aragua. In response to a request for comment for this article, Slotkin's office directed me to another point she raised in a confirmation hearing this week for Trump's nominee for General Counsel of the Army, Charles Young. During the hearing, Slotkin asked if a list of domestic terrorist organizations would authorize the military to take action within the United States, a possible way that the administration could get around posse comitatus, or posse comitatus is probably how it's pronounced, restrictions on the use of the active military to enforce the law. Young's reply, not to my knowledge. I've been critical of Congress's silence on NSPM 7, so I'm heartened by the seriousness of Slotkin's questions. A small but growing number of members has now spoken up, Representative Ro Khanna of California was first, saying NSPM 7 is a greater infringement on freedoms than the Patriot Act. This is real as fuck, by the way. Worse than the Patriot Act? Yes. Khanna was also kind enough to shout me out for my work in covering this. It was at Ken Klippenstein, an independent journalist, that broke the dam on this first, Khanna said. This is why it is so important that we support independent media. Ken Klippenstein is pretty based, by the way. He's a pretty good journalist. The dam does seem to be finally breaking. Democratic Republicans, Representatives Pocan, Jayapal, and Huffman criticized NSPM 7 in a letter they're circulating. Pocan himself discussed the issue on MSNBC. Today, the first investigation by a major media organization into NSPM 7 was published by Reuters. Also, some 3,000 nonprofit groups signed an open letter condemning NSPM 7 and the direction that it was moving the nation. Other national security insiders have flagged NSPM 7 as dangerous, sometimes even with starker language. NSPM 7 is one of the most dangerous documents to come out of the White House since the orders to enter Japanese citizens during World War II, Larry Pfeiffer, former CIA chief of staff and director of the George Mason University Hayden Center, said. Legal experts like Lawfare's Ben Witz, Steve Vladeck, and Ryan Goodman have also weighed in. Even the satire website The Onion posted about it earlier today. So, yeah. You've got these cringy-ass professors going viral talking about how people protesting ideas is so anti-free speech. Somehow, even though that is the definition of the First Amendment, the definition of free speech is protesting ideas. Meanwhile, you've got the Trump administration actively seeking to make a domestic terror list where they categorize anyone who believes things they don't as terrorists. If you disagree with their beliefs on gender, you're a terrorist. If you disagree with their beliefs on religion, you're a terrorist. If you disagree with their beliefs on capitalism and socialism, you're a terrorist. Go down the list. They will put you on a watch list. These people will continue to be the ones kicking you while you're down, all the while accusing you of being the bully. It's unbelievable. Anyway, folks. If you guys enjoyed this segment, if you found it entertaining, enjoyable, or educational in any way whatsoever, and you want to see more in the future, then consider leaving a like and a comment down below. It really does help a lot. And of course, if you want to see more from me on other platforms, follow my social medias, subscribe and ring the bell icon to turn on all notifications, join my fan Discord so you can be a part of tonight's watch party after stream, and of course, make sure you support me directly, financially, if you want to. It really does help a lot. You know, I'm a smaller creator, so your direct support is what allows me to continue making content for you all. You can always donate, subscribe, or gift a sub to someone else on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or you can support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or even buy some custom Xander Hall merch through the Streamlabs link down below. Regardless of how you support me, though, thank you all so much for watching, as always, and have a good one.